about the VOD and the silver screen. Kevin and Tom and Joe know all there is to know, from masterpieces to deep fried tacos. And if the movie sucks, you might hear them say, there's no telling where the guys will take you. Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already warned you. Better watch out, it's gonna ruin the plot. Real spoilers. Real spoilers. Real spoilers.
Broadcasting from the lush but not lavish studios located in the basement of the O'Keefe Institute for Advanced Film Snarkitude, and we're actually in the basement.
We made it!
Finally, you liars. The last two episodes, I'm like,
It's been a bit.
It has, yeah.
Been a bit.
We blame Kevin.
This is Real Spoilers, episode 833. Hey, it's the monkey.
This is
it's the monkey.
what was the one? What was Head. This is Head all over again.
Yes.
oh boy. Not many movies are. That was
that
something.
movie was wild.
That's a whole thing.
It is a whole
I
thing.
can't believe I got you guys to watch that.
We love you. That's what that is.
That was for you, Tom.
the things we did. Hey, we got Monster Squad for me. Kevin, we're waiting on you for whatever movie you're gonna pick.
It's gonna be either Hook or Hackers, or Hookers.
Hey.
I mean,
Let's do it.
So I guess let's go around the table and everyone can introduce themselves.
This is Joe.
this is Kevin.
And this is Tom. Everyone's back.
We're back.
Back, baby.
So
Where's our fourth co-host, Matt F. Bosler?
Matt F. Bosler is kind
out
of like
Matt's
trying
out this week.
to track down Van.
God,
F.
can you
my-
like?
What are the chances?
I just want to say, I love that guy. I think he's fantastic. I feel awful. Like
Yeah.
for those that don't know, I guess we'll just say it. Go reach out to Matt.
The
and
van that he ran off
Yeah.
in the ditch last week, this week has been stolen.
This is not a gag.
it's
this
a
is not a.
cursed van.
This is not a gimmick.
And-
like it is 100%
And
true.
it's kind of like a Boy Who Cried Wolf thing, because it's like, this is Matt F. Bosler we're talking about here. Like, he does
He's a goofball.
Yes, he does some silly stuff in videos, and you don't know what's real and what's not. I mean,
Yeah.
oftentimes you can figure out what's not real, right? So it's like, it's Matt F. Bosler. So when he's like, hey, guys, the van we crashed and had to get recovered is stolen this week, you're kind of like, oh, my God. is
Wait,
this a
that
bit?
can't be real.
But
it is 100%
I messaged
real.
him and everything. And
I
he's
did
like,
as well.
yes, it is 100%
Yeah.
real.
I felt so bad.
Oh.
Such a good dude. Hopefully they find that van.
no, that's the thing.
Oh,
Like,
I guess
that's,
you don't want them to find that
No,
van.
like he's not a good dude. Like that's the joke, right? Like it's all that's one
It's
of
all-
his.
it's all a
one
gimmick.
of his shticks,
Right.
Yeah,
That
like,
he's a good
really,
dude.
He's a complete just racist, homophobe.
Well, when the first time he was
Kicks
on the
puppies.
show, he was talking about doing that Truth Social and pizza.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what.
Well, see, that's back when it was satire and it was a joke.
Yeah, he
like
just-
it was kind of quaint
It's
to
like-
joke
it's
about.
like Andrew Dice
It's
Clay.
like Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah,
like
right,
he started making fun of those sorts of people, and then those sorts of people didn't get the joke, and they loved him, and then he's like, I guess this is just who I
This is
am
me now.
Yeah.
Larry
like,
the Cable,
if,
like
if,
Larry
if
the
he
Cable
got,
guy.
If he got canceled, he would have to become that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like that's your only choice.
That's
is like
it's the Louis C.K. thing where he's like, people don't get really canceled anymore. Your audience just changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
there's always someone that is going to shift and agree
Yes.
with you or whatever
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. So before we dig in, shameless plugs because I owe some plugs.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't do it last week. So don't forget, we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you find a podcast. You can find us. While you are there, be sure and follow us because it's the law. It's been mandated by Elon Musk. So you have
Correct.
to go do that now.
All part of the system.
Yes, and if you need to send us proof within 48 hours that you have followed the show,
I can't.
or you are fired. So
I saw that. I saw an email from one of the government agency posted the email, and it is insane.
Well, it's the
Yes.
same thing he does with his other companies.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, he does this with other.
oh yeah, this is what he did with Twitter.
He did that with Twitter. Is he said if you do not email, well, he said first of all you have to come back in the office or you're fired, and then he sent out an email about like tell us what you do about your job or whatever it was. It's been
What
a
is
while,
the what
or
is
you're
the
fired.
fascination with being in the office?
What is that?
Well, like if your job doesn't require you to be in an office,
yeah,
and your productivity
just a
hasn't
trust thing.
hasn't
It's just-
dropped.
Well, it's just a trust thing. It's like an old school way of thinking that, like, oh, well, if you're not there, and some people do abuse it, but plenty of
Absolutely.
people don't.
But
and it's,
I sit at my desk all day long and don't do a thing.
but that's
I record entire episodes from my desk.
That's absolutely true.
But that's the thing though, and I've always talked about that, and even at previous jobs when I've had to be in the office, like versus remote, and it's like, I'm way more productive at home. You go into the office, everyone's like, oh, hey, how was your weekend? Oh, blah, blah, blah. People are trying to talk to you and do, whatever. And then you're at the office and you have like a crappy computer with one monitor, or I'm at home with 3 monitors and a really good computer, and it's faster and you can do more stuff. I'm like,
You're
no
naked?
one's bothering you. Yeah, you're naked, which is always great. But like, you can get so much more done. At least from my experience, I can get more done being productive, not with a bunch of distractions.
I'm in the
around
same
me.
boat.
All I get, well, you
I
can't.
can't.
You should just do
can't
police work
yes,
from your
just do police work
office.
from home.
It's perfect.
Like, how bad is
Monitor,
it?
monitor all the cameras.
Yeah, that's all I
How
gotta
bad
do.
is your home life? Like,
It's not that bad. It's not that good.
Yeah. All I could ever think when Trump goes on stuff about that was like, you literally work from home.
That's exactly it. You are in home. Well, you should be in a home,
Yeah.
but that's neither here nor there.
Anyway, where was I at? Oh, shameless plugs. So went off on a tangent. We'll hear about that on the YouTube. I'll save you the trouble. We don't fucking care.
Nope, sure don't.
Thank you for doing it in the first 10 minutes though, because
Yeah,
that's like
it just runs them out early.
I did buy a shirt.
no, they're gonna listen at least to that amount, and they'll leave
Yeah,
a comment.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do this stuff, do it. In the
I
first
bought
10
the
minutes.
Snake Plissken I don't give a fuck about your president shirt.
Nice.
That's in the mail.
That's
And then
funny,
you're
yeah.
gonna hear, "Oh, that's so disrespectful."
Sure is.
But
Absolutely
are
it
you
is.
saying there was
You should
no other?
write a letter to Brandon.
Yeah.
So,
stop.
you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/real spoilers. While you're there, like the page, join the group. It's called the League of Show Sharers because we were hoping you'll share an episode. People who were kind enough to share an episode over the last 2 weeks include Brendan McGuckin, Lane Levanway, Travis Tewitt, Julianne Jordan, Tammy Lynn Powers-Betts, Gabriel Lugo, Glenn Cougar Mellon, Brewer, Ralph Tribble, Michael Tonkovic, Chris Magic Man, Richard Krotzer, Phil Timon, Tom Dowdy, Heather Sachs, Dustin from Nerds at Night Gaming, Librarian Cynthia, Aaron Kyleman, Taylor Ward, The Kryptonian Orphan, Dissect That Film, Ryan Terry, Geek to Me Radio, In Session Film, Mike and Oscar, Colby Mack, Ronnie Castle, Matt Naglia, Nostalgicast, and Ken Holtzhauser. Sorry, Ken. It's been a long day. I worked 15 hours yesterday.
Ooh, that's a long day. Yeah.
So, also, don't forget we have a Patreon, patreon.com/real spoilers, where for $5 a month, you get all sorts of bonus content. Lately, they've even included me.
We have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back-to-back episodes.
Yeah. And has that one out yet?
The new one has.
no.
That's probably gonna be out this coming week.
Gotcha. So
But
we
they on the
did
feed,
one-
they will be back-to-back.
Yeah. What do we talk about?
Wayne's World? Oh.
One
Yeah.
and two.
Wayne's
Wayne's
World
World
1
1
and 2.
and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we talked about Wayne's World 1 and 2. So that's in your immediate future. And of course,
And you know what? I thought this was really clever. The guys were super smart. What they did, this was a throwback to Wayne's World 1 and 2, which was like a VHS release and it was old school. So they didn't do video because YouTube wasn't around yet.
Yeah.
So it's actually a throwback audio episode.
That's why we did it.
That was really smart. These guys are just killing it.
We
over
are
there.
ahead of the curve
Oh
in
my gosh,
our
I love it.
ability
Isn't that
to.
genius that Joe would think to do
Oh,
that?
so glad.
He's like, well, in the days of Wayne's World, they wouldn't be doing YouTube.
No,
so
they would
we
have.
can't.
If I could have filmed it
but
on.
we don't post them on YouTube, do we? What do
Yeah,
we need?
unlisted links. Yeah.
Oh, do we?
Yeah,
Oh, I
they're
didn't
they're
realize
in the
that.
like. If you go to the Patreon tab,
I will
they're
say-
in there.
Oh, I know that.
Matt recorded video on his end and sent it to me. So
Did he
it might
really?
just be Matt doing
That's
video.
so great. That's so
When he
funny.
sent that, because I expected his audio. I know he sent me a video clip of
Look
him,
at that
so-
guy.
Yeah.
Also,
So I have
to
to figure
the,
out what to make your two still photos.
I did want to say, I like the on our
This is my
YouTube.
empty desk chair.
Oh, Jarpo would love that.
That's
Just
pretty
your-
good. Yeah, Jarpo, the guy that commented on our Brave New World video about us needing to read more comics. I just want to tell you, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I have forgotten more about comics than you will ever know. So
I liked it on that comment though, and like, please, like, we literally were asking for feedback because I know I wasn't on that episode, but the guys were wondering like, well, which part was that referencing? Because Joe's read a lot of comics, Tom's read a lot of comics, maybe Matt has, but like they have, and the person said you guys need to read more comics, and it's literally 3 replies: me, Joe, and Matt going, please tell me more. What are you referring to? And like, there's no response.
of course,
there.
there's
It's
never
like,
going to be a response.
What do you mean
Yeah.
by that?
Because they're trolls.
Yeah.
Right, but it's like, please tell. It's just 3 comments of please explain. What
Yeah.
do you?
I
say?
literally have like 150 long boxes worth of comics.
Yeah.
I
have 11,000 comic books.
Yeah, I don't even know how many that works out to be for me.
That's a lot. So you figure like 300 a box. I think.
I was bagged and board isn't 250.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it's
and
like,
these are the drawer ones, so they have a little bit less.
So if
I'll
it's-
save you some time. It's 8 million. So you've read a lot of comics.
I think it is about 200 with the drawer boxes because you do lose space.
Okay, so we'll split the difference to 200, and I'm pretty sure I have around 150 at this point. So yeah, that's like 37,000 comic books. So
Shut up.
eat a dick.
Yeah.
He's read each one twice.
Yeah. So
There's plenty that I've read more than once.
Yeah,
There's some
so-
that I've never read.
But a
I
lot
mean,
of
and I don't mean that to say that like I know everything about comic. I don't.
No.
I don't.
But
but
also-
you need to read more comics when you've
pretend-
probably read tens of
Yeah.
thousands of
Yeah, I've been reading comic
comics.
books
It's
since
like-
the 80s.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But a lot of nice comments, though. There were a lot. And I will say for our listeners that maybe listen to this on Spotify or wherever you listen to like a regular podcast, I'm not saying if that's how you listen, that's great. We don't want you to stop listening. But if you do have a YouTube account and you can go over there and just like the episode and even leave a comment about just like, keep up the good work, whatever you want to post, it helps the algorithm and we'll get more views from people that are watching YouTube videos. So like all these comments really help. The likes help. So anyone, if you've got a YouTube account, if you can take the minute to jump over there, click the link, like it and comment, it just helps us boost that. And they're kind of two different audiences, right?
Yeah.
There's people
Yeah.
that sit on YouTube and watch primarily that, and there's podcast listeners. And so we clearly over 13 years have gotten a lot of podcast listeners. And so now that we're trying to get into this new space, help us out over there and it will boost the algorithm. So, and
time.
someone left a really nice comment. I was gone the last 2 episodes because I was out of town weekend to weekend when we record. So it was 2 recordings. And PVR7758 says, "Love Matt, but I hope Kevin doesn't disappear like the previous hosts." That was a nice comment. Thank you for noticing. And no, I'm back. It was just a timing thing.
Why we were even joking about you not being here on the last episode. I was like, we have to let people know, like he's just on
he's
vacation.
He's
Like,
coming
it's-
back.
Yeah, like
it's almost like
people will believe this.
talking to a child that maybe has an absentee parent. But like when the one parent does have to leave town, they're like, "It's fine.
Yeah.
They're coming
Oh.
back. It's gonna be okay." And here he is.
Daddy's home.
Yeah. All right.
Where with my kids, I had to be like, it's fine.
She's
Mommy
not-
doesn't live here anymore.
She's not coming back.
Everything's gonna be okay now.
That's good. I
Oh,
like that.
goodness. It's funny because it's true.
It's funny because it's true.
So also don't forget we already did the YouTube thing, so
we did.
Kevin snuck it in on the Patreon part of the plug.
Well,
So anyway, there's all that. Let's dig into the monkey, or as they say in Spanish, el monkey. You didn't know I was bilingual.
I had no idea.
that
I'm
what
doing.
yeah.
I'm doing that to troll the right.
That's- yeah.
I'm an undocumented podcaster.
Oh my god!
all of a
Don't
sudden,
say that. You're
all
going
of
to
a
be under
sudden,
investigation.
Ice comes
yeah,
busting
it's-
through
Yeah.
the door.
We don't joke about that.
So I was thinking as I was watching this movie, is Stephen King the most prolific author to have
Yes.
properties turned into?
Over 50.
Is that right?
I would think it would
Over
almost
50
have to
adaptations.
be.
No one has touched that.
That's wild.
There's no way that even like Robert Louis Stevenson hasn't had 50 Treasure
Well, I was
Islands
thinking
and,
like
and Journey
Michael
to the Center of the Earth.
Crichton, but
But
John
no,
Grisham
but
doesn't
what,
really
what
have
does Michael
any.
Crichton have?
Congo.
Oh, Michael
Jurassic-
Crichton's got a lot
Jurassic
more.
I mean, I
Park.
know he does, but he's got Jurassic Park. He's got Congo. The
Isn't
the
there
Running
a lawyer?
Man? Or, no, what-
that's Bachman. That's Stephen
sorry,
King.
that was King. Okay, but there's
Isn't there a lawyer one? The Firm? No,
No,
that's
that's
Grisham.
that's Grisham.
I'm just saying,
You're right. I was just trying to
Crichton
think of
doesn't
like
have
who
that many,
else.
but he has something else that was a movie. I know he wrote the screenplay for
Jurassic Park 2.
Westworld.
Oh, he did.
Westworld is not
Westworld's-
a book; it's a
yeah.
screenplay. It's an original.
Also, there was a old Sean Connery movie, The Great Train Robbery, was Michael Crichton.
yeah, so
Like,
he's got a
interesting.
few, but
Wait,
he's got more
Michael
than you
Crichton
realize.
wrote the script for the original.
yeah, it's
Oh,
not
I didn't
adapted from a
realize
book.
that.
He wrote the screenplay and directed it, I believe. Didn't
With Yul Brenner?
Didn't he direct it, Crichton?
I honestly
Oh,
don't.
that's kind of
remember
crazy.
that.
I didn't know that.
Westworld, IMDb. Hold on, please. 1973. Clicking, loading. Directed and written by Michael Crichton.
I'll be damned.
I didn't know he ever directed a movie.
That's a good. I
That's
like
his
that.
first and only directing credit, I believe.
Much like Maximum Overdrive is Stephen
But yeah,
King's.
like Coma was his. Great Train Robbery, Looker.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Let me correct myself and let me see if they're substantial things. He Crichton. I'm going to take that back. It was his first feature-length film he directed. He directed Coma, The Great Train Robbery, the movie. He directed that. Looker, Runaway, Physical Evidence, and Timeline, the video game.
Oh.
And
Directed-
then
Isn't
Yeah.
there? Timeline is a movie with Paul
Probably
Walker.
not
I
the
think.
same. That's Time Jumpers or something, wasn't it?
No, there's a movie called
Is Timeline? Okay.
Also, Rising Sun was his. Disclosure was his.
okay.
Twister, and then also don't forget ER.
Oh, I didn't realize ER was
a
such
Michael Crichton.
Twister wasn't a book, was it?
No, but it's something. It's I
He
guess
wrote
it was
it.
He
an
was talking about
adaptation.
books that adapted
well,
to movies.
yeah,
but-
that's fair.
Yeah.
because
And there's a lot of screenwriters that have written.
Well, I also
30
I
movies
don't
too.
I don't
Yeah.
know that Stephen King has ever written something that wasn't a book first. Like, I don't think he has like an original screenplay. Maybe those if he wrote on those creep shows, maybe those might be.
So here's some names for you: Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, which I don't know why.
That's
I mean,
7? She did 7
I guess
things?
I don't know. He's
Yeah.
popularized. William Shakespeare,
Oh, okay,
I
well,
mean,
that's
he's
fair.
had a lot of
That's
adaptations,
fair.
right?
That's fair.
Alexander.
That was the first thing I thought. I was like, well, Shakespeare.
Agatha Christie has a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah.
TV
Okay.
and film adaptations.
Okay.
John Grisham, his movies, but not near King though.
Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I
I
guess-
didn't think about that.
Dean Koontz.
I don't know that Dean Koontz has a lot of adaptations though.
Oh, yeah.
He has a lot of books for sure, but I don't know that those get adapted into.
But as from a contemporary,
Dean Koontz has 8.
Is that right? That,
but that's still not even close to what Stephen.
No.
King
Oh,
is.
right. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I don't know if you would count Ian Fleming, but because he didn't do as many as they've made. He did a good amount of
he
books,
did a
I guess,
bunch
but
of
they haven't
books.
adapted
No.
all of them.
Timeline was a Crichton book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right, because it has like a knight's face on the cover, right? Timeline. Look at the cover of Timeline. It's like a knight's helmet, and I think it's like split in half or
Maybe.
something.
I thought it was like one of those ones where it was like the
poster I'm seeing has 3 faces, and then someone like shooting
The book
an arrow.
though, or the poster?
It's the movie poster.
Okay, the book I'm pretty sure has a picture of like a knight's helm, and I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, Nicholas Sparks 11.
Oh, yeah, that one makes sense.
J.K. Rowling is 11, I guess,
I
between
wonder
Harry
if-
Potter and Fantastic
I would
Beasts.
say I guess they're
so,
counting Fantastic Beasts.
Ian Fleming's 14, so he's up there. Grisham's 15.
Okay.
Stephen King at this time was 34, but now it's over 50.
Do you
so.
count Stan Lee?
Oh wow! Well,
You know, like I mean,
but
It's
they're
not
not
book
directly
books.
adapted. They're based on the
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's other people involved.
That's true.
He like that medium doesn't.
not just him.
They don't.
Despite
it
what he
doesn't
might,
work
what it
with-
might have wanted you to think at one point.
Yeah.
It was not
You
just
need a
him.
writer and an artist. I mean, sometimes it's the same, but
Sometimes.
but back then, especially, it wasn't. So like, you don't have one without the other.
Right,
So it's,
right.
But yeah. So real quick, films based on Crichton novels. Andromeda Strain Dealing.
Andromeda Strain. That's when I was thinking.
Yeah.
Of, not wrong.
Terminal Man, Great Train Robbery, Jurassic Park, Rising Sun, Disclosure, Congo, Sphere, 13th Warrior, and then
Ooh, I do like
Timeline,
the 13th Warrior.
and then a bunch of other Jurassic Park stuff. So.
Okay,
and
so he's in the Dean Koontz kind of
Yeah.
8 to 10.
But
Yeah.
Stephen
arena.
King is just a
But
ridiculous
Stephen King's
amount.
over
It's
50 is what I read last. And so Agatha Christie, according to this list from last year, was at 48. So she was actually
close.
toward the top. But I think King has surpassed her. The only one to beat both of them, I mentioned the Bard himself.
Yeah.
According to Collider, 1,121 adaptations. So,
That's a lot. Yeah.
but presuming he's the same person.
I
mean,
guess that's
a
true.
hard.
That's true.
Adapting a pen name. I don't know.
I don't know.
Right?
And to King's credit, like some of them are some of the. I'm not going to say the best, but there are varying degrees of
The
adaptations.
Stephen King adaptations have gotten significantly better over the last 15 years.
I think that's fair.
On masse.
Yeah.
Like,
what are your favorites?
are there good ones previously? Absolutely. Misery,
Misery,
Shawshank,
yeah.
Stand By Me.
Did you catch the Misery reference in this?
There was somebody that had the same name, right?
Yeah, the babysitter's name is Annie Wilkes.
Okay, I thought that. Yeah.
Oh, there was another reference that I meant to jot down. I saw it on the big screen and then I
Yeah.
forgot what it is now. But there's something in the background where I'm like, oh, that's clever what they did. And there were definitely Easter eggs.
Yeah.
sprinkled.
Yeah.
But I will point out that 2 of the best, Misery and Stand By Me,
Yeah.
both written
Bachman.
by both written by William Goldman.
Oh,
The screenplay.
I
The
get it.
adaptations. And I think that that Goldman
Goldman gets it.
is a phenomenal screenwriter, right? Like, he
True.
literally wrote the book on how to write screenplays.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And-
right.
But I think what he got that a lot of people didn't is how important the characters are to a Stephen King story.
Always the most important.
So many people get caught up in whatever the horror hook of the novel is.
Yeah.
That they forget that first and foremost, he pulls you in with his storytelling.
That's why
with
his books are so long.
Yeah, with these characters, and you get invested in the world, and then this weird stuff happens, and that's interesting, but you care about these people.
Right.
And so many of these filmmakers, especially back in the 70s and 80s,
100%.
they just wanted to like turn it into a quick horror movie and not do the actual work. And there are absolutely exceptions, because people right now are probably screaming at their phone, what about Carrie? What about Des? Yeah, there are exceptions for sure.
And I will argue Carrie is one of the best, because Brian De Palma takes the time to build Carrie and
to build it out.
Everybody, yes.
Yeah, and you
have phenomenal performances as well.
I mean, you really you get the trifecta of you got young actors who were going to be generational.
Yes.
Right? That they're the peak actors of their generation.
Absolutely.
And you had a director who was a peak director of his generation.
Is that his first one?
No, I don't think so, but it's real early.
Oh, I guess Sisters, and there's some other, but all the typical De Palma stuff is after Carrie.
Yeah, but it's real early, and so but then that becomes a big hit, and then they just try to make a bunch of slasher movies based around Stephen King premises.
Can't do it,
and I think it's because the filmmakers at the time, Stephen King was new and he was a contemporary, and they didn't have respect for his work in the same way, and I remember when I was in high school, like my literature teacher was like, Stephen King's books are, and I'm just like, but they're not.
But they're not.
They're not.
No.
Like
they're very smart, especially back then.
Yeah,
they're very smart.
And it's just the kind of thing of like, well, if it's popular, then it must be trash, right? And so where I think now we have filmmakers that have grown up reading Stephen King, and they treat it a little. They treat the source material with a little bit more respect. Now,
I think it starts with Flanagan.
Yeah.
I think Flanagan does some of the weirdest adaptations, right? Like Gerald's. I think he does Gerald's Game, which is a weird story.
Flanagan did Gerald's Game?
I think so. I could be wrong about that, but I think
you're right,
because it's Bruce Greenwood and Carla D. Gregori.
Directed by Mike Flanagan.
Yeah. If you see Bruce Greenwood in a movie now, there's a really good chance that Mike Flanagan's attached.
Sure. Yeah, I watched what's the Shining one? Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
That is so good. I watched
so
it
good.
recently.
The director's cut is better because they are able to flesh out the characters.
Yeah.
Like you get more with
you
Danny.
See Tremblay
you get more
ripped apart into pieces.
Oh boy, that is a wild scene in a movie that is not fun to watch. Because Tremblay is so convincing.
Yeah.
In that scene,
Dr. Sleep was brilliant in that I don't know that a movie's ever been in a position to need to do this, but certainly to pull it off, that it's a perfect sequel to both the book
and the movie
and the film,
it's
which is a true testament considering that the guy who wrote the book hates the
movie,
film, and he managed to make a sequel that was true to both.
It's crazy.
It's
masterful.
I remember watching that, being like, when Danny goes, because in the book, the Overlook is gone. Like when Danny goes to the spot, the hotel is gone, because in the book, Jack blows it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When he takes the girl to the Overlook, and you realize where they're going, and when they pull up to the Overlook, I remember thinking, "Holy, like he's gonna do it." Like we're here. Like
crazy.
I cannot believe they're gonna pull this off.
Yeah.
So that being said, I do think we have seen this resurgence with King. My favorite King stuff is the original Salem's Lot, the It Chapter 1. I'm hesitant to put The Shining on there because I don't really. It is based on King's stuff, but it's not. Kubrick did his own thing with it,
for sure.
But
it's good.
It's a phenomenal
movie.
It's an example of a filmmaker not respecting the source material, but still making.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he improved upon it. He made a parallel piece that was just as good.
Yes,
but very different.
How about The Lawnmower Man?
He had his name taken off of that.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing this as just like a fun one, but The Running Man. Like I think The Running Man's a lot of fun.
That remake coming out
with Glenn
Edgar
Powell.
Wright.
I know, with Glenn Powell.
That's gonna be good.
Now, do they do the ending from the book? is the question.
Oh.
I don't know.
At Pupil, that was a good movie.
Apt Pupil's very
Pupil's
good.
really
That's
good,
the other
yeah.
thing.
It
Is
only
like
has a 54% Rotten Tomato, but I remember that movie
Apt
being
Pupil,
solid.
Stand By Me,
Ian McKellen.
The Mist. Like there are the Shawshank Redemption, Misery.
So, Apt Pupil, Shawshank, and Stand By Me
Are
are
in the
all
same book?
novellas from the same book. It's
Yeah.
called Four Seasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, those are
and
solid,
then The Mist, The Monkey, The Long Walk, and I think something else is in
Yeah, no Long Walk.
Skeleton Keys.
Yeah, no, Long Walk is a Bachman book.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
that's a novel.
Yeah,
That's a
you're
straight-
right.
It's a fairly short novel for him, but that's one of the Bachman books. One of the 4 core Bachman books that came out before anyone knew. Like got I had a copy of it.
Yeah, I was like, one you can't get anymore.
I sold it during my divorce for I got $200 for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I showed
Yeah.
you guys. I've got that book,
The Rage?
the Four
The
Seasons collection. Yeah,
Yeah, and then I'm sorry, it's the
I
skeleton.
had the actual paperback that didn't say Stephen King anywhere on it.
yeah, mine's Bachman too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I sent you guys a picture of that. Yeah,
And it's the book. I'm sorry, it's the Skeleton Crew, not the Skeleton Keys. The Skeleton Crew is where all that stuff is. So
remember the Dark Tower? Remember when they finally adapted that, and then they got a 16% on Rotten
Oh,
Tomatoes?
well, they
so
didn't
bad.
adapt it. That's the thing.
Well,
they
they
tried.
loosely
They
adapted
tried to
it. Yeah.
merge 3 books into one movie.
It was bad.
But I think that's at Amazon. I think they're working on a series.
Oh,
Yeah,
There's-
I think they're trying to
Get,
do
which
it
is
again.
what that should be. That
Yeah.
should be.
It's
That should
too
not be a
much
movie.
to be a movie.
No.
I love the mini series or limited series type 6 to 8 episode seasons.
The Outsider is one of the best.
That was really good.
It was insanely good.
That's just sometimes you just have to. You can't condense, especially if you're combining multiple things into one movie. You know what I mean? Give
Yeah.
it 6 to 8 episodes to tell that whole.
That's why I think
story.
it was unfortunately Chapter 2 was kind of a miss. It was good, but for
was
whatever
good, but
reason it
wasn't
was
as good as
not
that
as good as the
first
first
part.
one.
That first
Yeah, it
part
was
is
not.
phenomenal.
Maybe if they had interwoven the stories, it would. I don't know, but
Yeah.
that first one is absolutely incredible.
So what did you think of the monkey? Now I know there was some confusion going into this because we thought it was Monkey Shines.
Correct, which is there was a relationship between Stephen King and George Romero.
Mm-hmm.
So they worked on Creepshow together. I think there were some other adaptations that
Yeah.
Romero was going to do. And I always thought, I've never seen Monkey Shines. Sorry.
Yeah.
I always thought this was an adaptation of this movie. Like
Joe
up
did
until
that thing,
recently.
Joe did that thing where he convinces us of what the movie is the next week or whatever, where he tricks us. Because then I went into it thinking, oh, they changed the name and it's really
That's
Monkey
what
Shines.
but I
Because
mean,
I had never seen it either.
In my defense, it's the same gimmick. It's
It does have
a
monkey-
wind up.
It
It's a
does
wind
have
up
monkey in the title. I'll give
but
you
it's
that.
got a wind up monkey on the cover. Like it's the same.
I
It's the
get
same
that,
thing.
yeah.
I was into this movie. I was in on. I was like, that's it. This is one of the best adaptations for about an hour, and then it lost me.
Well, this movie is interesting because I'm not saying this is a bad thing necessarily, but I had a really hard time trying to figure out the tone of this film.
Oh, I
There's
think I
dark,
knew it
There's dark
immediately.
humor and comedies, that go all in, and then there's scary movies that are maybe taken more seriously or whatever. I just had trouble figuring out, this movie is deeply comedic.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
This
it
is
is
a
comedy.
dark
but
comedy.
it is pitch black. But it's
It's a comedy horror more than a dark comedy.
Yeah.
This is a comedy with horror in it.
Yeah.
So you have to wrap your head around going into it. See, I thought it was going to be horror with some dark comedy elements.
No.
But the way the characters talk, the things the mom says, it's an outlandish comedy. And so for a while it was me being like, why do they talk like this? Why would anyone be at a funeral? Why would the pastor be making jokes?
The
and
book
whatever?
is not funny. The story is not funny.
So this movie, they made it a total comedy. And so when you watch comedies, you don't go into it being like, people don't act like that because you're watching a comedy, right? So you have to approach this as this is a comedy.
This
with horror.
movie reminded me a lot of this is going to be a weird turn. Observe and Report.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
a great
yeah. 'Cause
call.
That's a comedy with the really dark
Because
elements,
I
yes.
remember watching Observe and Report, and this, and you also remember the time frame that this came out. It came out in real close proximity to Paul Blart,
Yeah.
and this is as Seth Rogen was blowing
He's
up.
about to take off.
And
yeah.
so I thought I'm sitting down to watch a wacky Seth Rogen comedy.
Yes.
And I spent the
Same.
first 30 minutes being like, this is bad.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember what happened, but at some point in the movie, it's like something, a
clicked.
switch flipped
Where
in
you
my head.
figured it out.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, they're not trying to be a wacky. This is like a dark comedy. And then I really liked it. But
I need to
But it
revisit
takes a
'cause I
little
remember-
bit sometimes.
Yeah.
In this movie,
and this movie
I
is
liked
like
it,
that.
and I thought the kills and stuff were in a comedic, dark way, were funny, and I'm like, this is crazy. But then the characters kept talking in a way where I'm like, what is happening? Why would the mom be saying this to her kids? Why would the pastor be saying this? And then I figured out it was a comedy first and foremost.
I had heard a non-spoiler review on a different podcast.
There are other podcasts?
Barely.
You
Barely.
listen to other
Interesting.
podcasts?
Barely.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was just
Barely.
like this and the clip out and This American Life. I thought that was
That's
the
all it
extent
is.
of
Basically,
podcasting.
Yeah. And they said they're like, one of the thing that is a very dark comedy, and I do think one of the things that people don't really know is that Stephen King does have kind of a warped sense of humor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now-
how could he not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, the monkey story has no humor in it. It is a straight up spooky story about this thing. And there are elements from the story that are in the movie. Some like the brothers are morphed into the twins in the there's twin sons in the book, and the brothers
The book
in this
is about
movie are
Hal's
morphed.
sons, and the
Yes.
movie is about Hal
and his brother. Yeah.
Right, and so they change things like that. But yeah, it does pull a lot, but tonally it's different.
It's very different.
And so I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I had fun with it. I was entertained by it. It just took me a while to kind of get locked in. I liked Theo James. I thought he was good in it as the brothers.
I thought it was Bruce Greenwood. Like because you don't see him for the beginning of the movie, so you
the
hear his
voice.
voice, and I was like,
Well, and I've only known
he-
Theo James from those Divergent movies or
is
whatever.
he American?
No, he's British.
So
he's,
British people have figured out this is how they do the American accent.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill does it. Christian Bale does it.
Yeah.
They drop their octave it's the deep voice. Because when I heard his voice, I was like, well, that
Hold on.
doesn't sound
Who did
like.
I think it was? When I heard the voice too, in the real deep voice, I thought it was someone else. I'll see if it comes to
I
me.
did.
but
I thought it was Bruce
I had
Greenwood.
no idea Theo James was in this movie. I didn't know who. I'm like, is it Osgood Perkins and stars in this? I
Osgood
didn't know
Perkins
who it
has
was.
one of my favorite cameos in this movie. It is
Which one is he? I didn't
He's
know.
the uncle.
He's the uncle.
He's the swinger uncle.
Oh, that's hilarious. That was good. Okay, I
Yeah.
guess I don't quite know what he looks like yet, because I was like, where is he in this
He does not
movie?
look like his dad.
I don't.
For those that don't know, his dad is
Anthony Perkins.
Anthony
Yeah,
Perkins.
Tony Perkins.
Marlon
Yeah,
Perkins.
Marlon Perkins. Norman Bates. Famously. Again, if you haven't seen Psycho 2 or 3, go do that.
Yeah, they're way better
They're
than you would think.
Insanely good.
Way better than you would
So
think.
good.
Like,
So
yeah.
good.
Dude, we did a series on it
Yeah.
during COVID, right?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Go back and listen to that.
I don't think we got to Psycho 4, though.
No,
did we?
we
Psycho
didn't do
4 is
anything.
okay.
Yeah.
Because that's
Well,
okay.
That's made for TV,
Psycho
right?
4 stars Mike Flanagan Stalwart, the kid from E.T.
Henry Thomas.
He plays Norman Bates as a teenager.
Okay.
And Olivia Hussey is his mother. And
Osgood Perkins also played Norman Bates.
he did.
in
That's
Psycho
right.
2. He's
That's
young.
right.
He's young.
Norman Bates.
But me and Joe on that series were shocked at how good. I loved those Psychos
They're
2 and
so
3.
good.
There was one of them that was better than the other. It might
I
have
think
been two.
I think
was it one of
three-
them? I was like, this is good. I don't know what's happening.
2
here,
is
but-
Meg Tilly.
okay.
3 is the nun. Yeah, I think that's right. But in Psycho 4, when Olivia Hussey shows up as his mother, you're like, I kind of get it.
That's funny. You just like saying her name.
She's also back then. Well, is she still alive? No.
I don't
I think
so.
Meg Tilly?
No,
Olivia.
Meg Tilly is also stunningly gorgeous.
Yeah.
But Olivia Hussey, I think, is.
That I don't know.
Olivia Hussey was stunning.
Olivia Hussey. Oh, is she Juliet?
Yeah.
She just died in December of last year.
Yes, that's right.
Remember? Everyone
Yes,
was
yes.
talking-
She was stunningly gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
Everyone had to watch her in middle school.
we
and
did.
now it's a
It's
gets
super
you on
illegal.
Gets you on a list.
Yeah, right.
Gets you on a
She
list.
is not of age in that movie. Yeah. So this is it's a tale of two movies. You've got the two twins, Hal and Bill, and their dad, Adam Scott, which I thought was a fun little cameo. There's some wild cameos in this one as
Yeah.
well. Elijah Wood is in this.
Little
Obviously-
one scene cameo.
Yeah, and he's just the worst.
Yeah.
Like just the worst.
Oh yeah. I love seeing people like Elijah Wood and Daniel Radcliffe pop up in movies just playing a totally against type of
what I
made them
love is
famous.
they've made so much money.
Oh yeah, they can do what they
on
want
the 2 series
I
that
love
they can
it.
just do whatever.
Yeah,
they want.
because some people retire and they're like, I don't need to work again. These people want to work, and they're like, I'm only going to do interesting roles. Because
Elijah Wood's like, I'm going to make these wild ass horror movies.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Radcliffe has to be one of the best examples of that. He just makes the weirdest movies.
Yeah.
the most
And he
art house
always
and-
knows if it all goes to
I got Harry Potter.
just go to a wizard world.
Oh yeah, man.
Right?
Absolutely.
Just go to a Comic-Con.
Go to San
and
Diego,
You're
go-
set for at least a year.
Easily.
One weekend and you're good.
Yeah.
But he's like extremely talented, right? Doing the Broadway stuff and doing all the different art house movies, and like
Yeah.
he does seem to pick really good, weird.
Well, I think that's
I know
the-
he did that Frankenstein thing. I never saw it,
But
that didn't
okay,
get great reviews.
but that also is just one of those things where he's like, it felt like to me, I want to work with my buddies.
yeah, I
Like,
mean
that's the way that
yeah,
felt,
Yeah, for sure.
you
I mean,
know?
not knocking him. I just say most of the stuff he's done, I think, has turned out pretty well.
I don't think we
and
talk about that movie because the writer's a piece of shit.
Which writer was that?
Mr.
Was that Landis?
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
I
what a
kinda-
scum. Not
okay.
John, who also not the
Well.
best person in the world,
Yeah,
but
apple
his-
trees.
Yeah, that's also true. That's a good point. So the premise of this movie is basically,
Oh yeah, we saw a movie.
whatever. It's a short story.
We'll hear all about it in the comments.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is a podvella.
It's a short story, so
Yeah.
we get to
We've never done anything short.
no, unless it sucks and we put a time limit on
Yeah.
ourselves.
So Adam Scott is a pilot that brings his kids back gifts from all the places he travels to.
Right.
I don't think he's a pilot.
What do you think he is?
I think he's a con man.
You think he's Frank Abagnale?
I think he's using jumping way ahead, the metalhead kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
he-
you mean Corey from Halloween Ends?
Yeah, I think
What?
That's Corey from
I
Halloween
think
Ends.
that's their
Yeah.
half brother.
Oh.
And you think that's why there's a video of him like doing sex stuff with the mom, like tied up in a bed because his mom was filming.
Because he
I
talks
couldn't
about
tell-
his dad runs out on them in the exact same
Uh-huh.
way, and his dad has a cop uniform.
Yeah?
and so
Right.
I think he's a con artist who's using uniforms because they
Oh.
bestow instant credibility.
Okay.
And I don't think the dad's really a pilot.
Interesting.
He's Frank Abagnale,
Yeah.
right? From
Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, right. They
Yeah.
would dress up as what
Yeah.
a weird
He's Barry
time that
Allen.
would be. But you see, jumping way ahead, you see this kid, and there's like isn't there like a flashback of his dad tied up in bed. He's in bed, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I took that when he first gets the monkey and the mom's sitting
The
there, they
metalhead
got-
kid.
Yeah, and he's like it reminds me of he's getting flashbacks, like it reminds me of his dad, and it flashes to a guy in a cop uniform in a bed.
Oh, I don't think he was tied up. I think he was getting drunk in bed.
Okay, I thought it was like
You're right. I remember.
sex thing or something.
Sure,
but I don't
sure,
know.
sure.
But a cop in bed,
Which was not Adam Scott.
right, which I didn't understand.
The
And-
cop in the bed was not Adam
Oh,
Scott.
I don't
Right.
remember this part at
Yeah,
all.
okay.
So yeah, because they show the guy, and I thought the same thing. I go, well, that didn't look like Adam Scott. So
Yeah.
who is? I was like, what are they trying to tell us here?
I just think
So-
that like the kid walked in on something he probably shouldn't have
right.
seen.
But
you know.
but yeah, whoever was in bed wasn't Adam Scott.
Oh,
Which
okay.
would,
Yeah. It was
Well,
good. It was a good
that
call.
ruins
though.
I mean, that's a
right
great theory, but
Yeah.
So he goes to this like pawn shop and he was like, I got to get rid of this toy.
you know what I thought of during this?
He's gonna get a gremlin.
That's yeah.
Yeah, but which also, you know what I thought of was
I guess it kind of does.
Kind of does.
the doll comes with a free frozen yogurt.
Oh my god. That's one of my
But
favorite.
that's good. But the frozen yogurt is cursed. That's bad. But it comes with free toppings. That's
good.
But the toppings contains
Potassium
potassium benzoate.
That's
bad.
Can I go now?
I mean, it's total like you go to a pawn shop, and I'm like thinking it's the exact same.
Yep. Here's the
setup.
problem. Someone switched this
Oh,
thing to
hey,
evil.
there's your problem. It's set on evil.
Because
Because that has to be a parody of the monkey, like that, or monkey.
No, that's
isn't that
no, because there is a parody of the monkey's paw.
No, monkey's paw is different. But
Yeah.
but the Krusty doll about a toy that's killing people, I figure that has to
I
be. You
don't-
pull his string and he does bad stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this
Maybe.
is, you crank the thing. I think it's a parody of the
It
monkey.
could be. It
we
could
just
be.
didn't know what the monkey was back then.
That's probably true.
So they should have set it to good. They
shouldn't-
didn't look at the
They didn't
switch
look
to
at the
see.
switch. Yeah. And I do like the guy behind the counter is like, you got a lot of blood on you. He's like, it's not mine.
Yeah. And that's where totally again, like I should have. That's your first clue.
Yeah.
When he walks in and the guy isn't instantly like calling the cops or running away, when he's just like, oh, you're covered in blood. Like to have that kind of a nonchalant interaction.
Right.
This is a world where people do not act in a way that they normally.
No. And so the the monkey ends up getting cranked, and the
Hey, goodness.
This is real spoilers after dark.
It's a hard R.
it is a very Final Destination-esque.
Yeah, this movie's very much Final Destination.
Yes.
And this is the moment I laughed out loud. I thought where I'm like, we're in for something fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so the spear, the it drums and it stops, and of course a Rube Goldberg style
There's like
murder.
a Scooby-Doo looking like diving suit
Well, there's
with a harpoon gun.
holding a harpoon. There's a mouse that chews a rope that drops the harpoon and shoots
I like
a guy.
and I like that the guy doesn't he say something like I don't feel like 'cause Adam Scott says that I don't know like it's about to go down or whatever like that, and the guy's like I don't feel like there's death looming over me, whatever he said it was,
right.
and then all of a sudden it goes
Harpoon
off
through
and
the gut.
does all that, and then the harpoon gun retracts and pulls his hot dog intestine looking stuff out of his stomach, and I'm like, okay,
I don't think we need to intestine shame this man.
That's true.
Like that's
You're right.
But
We
it looked like
don't. You're
links
right.
of sausage.
We're
you know what I
better
mean?
than that.
But like it starts off like that, and it's funny. This is the dark humor of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're in for some funny. Like the kills in this movie are very funny.
The kills are the kind of kills that aren't there to scare you.
No, they're Friday the
They're there to
13th,
make you go,
right?
holy. Yes,
Right.
Friday the 13th
Yes.
part 4 kills. Or whatever,
100%.
Yeah,
like,
because it's this weird thing of like, it's not that they look fake, but they also don't look real at all.
Right.
You know?
Right. When they
Yeah.
get to Osgood Perkins' death.
Yeah,
they're good.
Which was hilarious.
They're good.
that's the best death of all that you don't even see.
Yeah.
Like that
They
was
said
my
it looked
favorite.
like mushed cherries.
They're-
and then they just flip the bag over.
They're good effects though. Like they're not like you don't go they're fake. They're so extreme and ridiculous.
Yeah.
To where but like it looks good in this universe. You know what
It's,
I mean? It's
you
a
know,
good-
the draw of the Friday the 13th movies post part 1 was basically they would get like younger makeup artists like Greg Nicotero. All those guys have worked on that movie at that series or all of those series. And basically like, what can we get away with?
Yeah.
Like, what can we do to these kids that you haven't seen before? So we're going to squeeze their head and an eyeball's going to pop out. We're going to shove an arrow through their neck. We're going to try all these different practical effects and try to get the wildest things you can see.
And that's what this movie is. Like, so it really
Yeah.
reminded me of those like extreme kill, slasher movies. I mean, someone explodes in this movie.
Which was just the best.
like,
I
so-
don't think that would happen.
No, of course it would.
it
But
was
that's,
so
that's,
great.
That's my point. So, like, again, with like the script and everything, it's a very comedic. So you have to get your head in the right headspace of this is a comedy.
Yeah.
And the kills are so over the top that they are supposed to be comedic. Like, this is a comedy.
This is not a Scream movie. This isn't a Halloween movie
No.
where it's
You're supposed
we're
to go have fun and laugh at this movie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
And I think because it's based in this universe, you don't have to necessarily care about the characters as much. I didn't find myself quite engaged by the brotherly dynamic and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I think Theo James does a fine job, but I wasn't really there to care about this.
You're not emotionally invested.
I
it's just a
wasn't.
means to an end.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, yeah,
looking
yeah.
I
forward
would
to the
agree.
more like the kills and stuff. So
Yeah.
It's like how like your kids eat French fries. It's a ketchup delivery system.
correct.
Yeah,
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 right.
It's not for the French fries.
No.
And like Theo James is all in. He's trying to do
Oh,
some
he's great.
emotional.
I think
heavy
he's
lifting.
funny.
And he's good. Again, I like him in this, but I just mean like delivering the lines about the family dynamic and his kid, and like he's all in, but like I just couldn't find myself quite.
I really enjoyed. I think you get the best of him when he's in the scene with the ex-wife or the girl or whoever this woman is, and Elijah Wood.
You stole my power.
And he's like,
I didn't say
he's
you
like,
could steal my power.
he's like, I took your power. He's like, no, you didn't. Like, that's mine. You can't. I
didn't
take
say
it.
you
I
could
take it
that.
back.
Yeah, so funny. Yeah. Elijah Wood's like a Bible
Like
thumping
guru.
preacher.
I don't know if it was supposed to be religious much. It was just
I thought one of his
self-help.
I think one of his books
Yeah.
definitely had the word Jesus.
I
in
think
it.
it was
Did
a
it? I missed
religious
that one.
family type thing, but he lives in a huge mansion, definitely like an Osteen type of preacher or whatever, grifter kind of
Right.
trying to cash
That's
in on.
redundant. But go on.
Yeah, but that scene was funny, and I think when eventually he kind of goes crazy, like what is it? When someone dies when he's at the hotel with his kid.
So there's
Was
this.
that it?
There's
The
this
pool thing?
incredibly attractive woman and wearing
She's who explodes
yes.
by getting shocked. She explodes.
Well, he gets a phone call and he's basically it's his brother who says,
Well, you've already flashed forward to the present day. Like,
Yeah.
I
I guess that's true. So these kids you've got this one Hal who is very nerdy and just cannot catch a break. The poor kid can't catch a break. His twin brother Bill, who I thought was a reference to Bill from It, since we had a reference to Annie Wilkes, but he's Bill in the book,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
But he's an asshole. Like this little
He's
kid
terrible.
is horrible.
And this the whole thing where he's like, my brother ate 80% of my mom's placenta, so he calls himself my big brother. And I was like, God damn it, that's funny.
And then he's like, you better shut up. I'm gonna eat the rest of your placenta or whatever. I'm like, it's crazy. The lines are crazy.
Yeah, they're
in this
insane.
movie. Yeah.
And he lives Hal, our main character, lives a pretty meager life. Like he is always in this big brother's shadow.
He's getting picked on.
He's getting picked on constantly.
He gets picked on by a group of girls.
That were in the guys' locker room, I think, which was
so obscure. Like,
then the girl has like this little girl voice, but she's talking.
Yeah, it's
funny.
just
like it is very funny.
It's the juxtaposition,
right?
That is just like,
and so they're going through their dad's stuff, and they find this box, and inside this box is the most absurd looking, like cymbals banging. It's a drum. It's a drum. I'm sorry, it's a drum.
It's drums.
It
so
is
shines
drums.
is the
Shines
symbol,
is the symbol.
right?
Drums
They can't do symbols
Oh, you're right.
because Pixar.
Yes, Pixar bought the rights to that.
They
model.
trademarked the monkey with crashing cymbals because
from Toy Story.
So in the
3.
book,
yeah.
it is symbols.
But yeah, the cover of the book is the classic monkey with the symbols.
Yeah.
But they had to switch it to
the
drums.
drums.
Oh my gosh. So, what I really like is that the hat box that it's in, like I think in the book it's like a Stetson box or something.
Yeah, it was like a hat. I mean, it's still a
it's-
hat box.
But this one, I love that it just says organ grinder monkey. I just think that's great because organ grinder, like it's such
Yeah.
it's a
They
fun pun where
they tell
he
you.
is an
Yeah.
organ
And
grinder.
he's got a drum,
Right.
so he's not grinding an organ.
Right, it's
Nope.
not, he's not like an organ grinder is a monkey that sits on top of the little
Yeah.
music box
Yes,
thing.
correct.
So like he's not an organ grinder monkey. He's the other type of organ.
Yeah, he's
grinder
grinding
monkey.
some organs.
I just thought it was funny. That
Yeah, it's a good. Like
yeah.
what I'm saying. I think Osgood Perkins has a sense of humor that is similar to King's,
And it's like
he
life.
It is like life.
Like life.
Like life.
He's like, and the brother when he
It's like
sees
lifelike.
Life.
he's like, it should be lifelike. He's like, no, it says like life.
Says it right here.
It's good.
So they wind up the monkey, and it does its thing, but nothing happens. So the mom, played by I can never say her name. The gal from Orphan, She-Hulk.
Oh, Tatiana Maslany.
Tatiana Maslany.
Who's very funny. Yeah.
She-Hulk.
I love
Yes.
She-Hulk.
I
I
thought
hate
She-Hulk
that.
was
Dude,
great.
That's
She-Hulk
one of the
was
best.
great.
That's one of the best Marvel series there is, and it got.
I think it might be the best.
And it got
I love
swept
She-Hulk.
up.
I'm looking forward
and
to
everyone
Daredevil,
calling it
but
so woke or whatever. Like it's one of the
talk
best.
about
series.
talk
that
about
ending.
Talk about needing to read comics. Go read
Yeah.
a She-Hulk comic. Like
Yeah.
that's who that character is.
Yeah.
But
So,
that
yeah.
ending, that is one of my the best finales. It reminded me of, and I can't remember if I brought this up before, but like, remember when I was like in Doctor Strange, and I'm like, oh, finally they did something different with an ending,
Yeah.
not a beam of light or whatever. And it's like that ending did something that you did not expect at all.
Right.
It was so funny.
It's
with
so
the
good.
KEVIN at the end there and everything. I mean, it was just so funny. And I
That
love
show
that
is
one.
very underrated and it got slept on. It should not have
Yeah.
been. It's
Paul
very good.
Harris hates Marvel stuff, and I told him about it, and I said you should watch She-Hulk, even because it's not a Marvel-y like.
No.
It's so different. I think he enjoyed it. So
The fact that he didn't tell you who.
no, we talked. I think he did enjoy it. Like,
Okay.
you know, I mean, it's not his bag, but I think he agreed that, like,
Right.
yeah, this was different. Yeah.
So the mom is single and she's going on these awful dates. She's going on this other blind date. So the boys are with their babysitter and they're going to like a hibachi steakhouse.
It's
Annie Wilkes.
what's the famous hibachi place? It's
I don't know what that is. Shogun? I don't know.
no, it's there's like
Benihana?
it's Benihana. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're there and the guy, the chef is like obviously flirting with the
Yeah, he's
babysitter,
firing on.
making little hearts, and he does this thing where he flips the knife in the air and he grabs it and he like swipes it out to like cut something, and the way he swipes it, you just hear a sound and you're
Yeah.
like, no boy.
It's a great reveal though, because the way you don't see anything, and then you start to see a tiny little blood on her neck,
Yep.
and then she turns her head to look at
Hal.
and then the head slides off.
The head just
And-
slides off.
And the fact that, again, this movie, this kill that we see, she slices it. I mean, he sliced their neck, and like normally you'd think, okay, it might cut her throat or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
It chops her head off.
Yes.
He's swinging that hard, that
and then
gets,
it lands on the grill.
it starts grilling your face. Like it's. Oh, and we didn't mention that Adam Scott tried to he flamethrowered the monkey.
He did.
And
that's
this is-
the opening credits.
And it got me wondering, I'm like, but he destroyed it, right? But then it shows up. I was confused about the time jumps, but this monkey, no matter what you do to it,
It's gonna
well,
win.
they had the right idea in
Reappears.
they had the right idea post Well, we'll get there.
Well, yeah, but the point is, we should say Adam Scott destroyed it, but they find it in the box.
Right.
So it's like, what the hell?
Right.
But this thing will not stay down.
No.
It just
No,
regenerates.
and it's not like a Chucky doll where it's moving around. It's just this evil
Yeah.
It just somehow causes a string of
death,
events.
a death. So they go to this funeral for Annie Wilkes, who, if you don't know, that is Kathy Bates' character's name from
So misery doesn't happen in this universe.
Apparently not. And they get this priest who is just the best. Like, the guy does not give a about anything.
Well, he's like a high stoner type priest. You know, he's
I felt like-
he's a super young kid.
It felt like they were trying to do the guy from Stranger Things.
I know. It did feel like that.
Yeah.
I know they moved this. They were going to set it in the 80s, but they moved it to the 90s.
Because of Stranger Things?
Because of Stranger Things.
Oh,
They didn't wanna
interesting.
look too much like that.
Well, Stranger Things is very much a Stephen King love letter.
Inspired thing. For
Yeah.
This
sure,
guy is on Supernatural.
What guy?
The Nico Del Rio
How
who
many
plays
episodes?
Rookie Priest.
How many episodes?
1 episode.
Okay, thanks.
But he plays Radio Shed Clerk.
Oh, well, all right then.
Is Radio Shed their Radio,
Radio Shack, yeah.
Yeah, he plays the clerk there. You should
Okay.
go back and rewatch the whole series to catch him.
Nope.
Oh.
I did it while it was on TV. I'm good.
Okay.
So, of course, and I like the kid brother Bill is just kind of like, man, I was gonna marry that girl, and Pal's just like, sure, whatever. And now they're starting to kind of figure out
Well, Hal realizes that
he turned this key
and this
happened.
So
now,
he's like talking to it. He's like, "Did you cause this? Whatever." And then of course the monkey's not responding or anything.
yeah, and then Bill starts giving him the guff about, like, do you want to that monkey? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, no, I don't. Like, leave me,
But he's such a jerk. He's like, "Say you love this monkey," and blah blah blah. And then they just were like, "I'm gonna eat the rest of the placenta if you don't do this." And he's a total jerk.
It's
And
terrible.
And so eventually, what happens? And we've seen the preview earlier, which again was that dark comedy of him holding a bowling ball over Bill's head.
Yeah,
he's
right,
like,
right.
He's like, "I hate this guy," or whatever. I hate him. And so he eventually wishes on the monkey. He turns the crank.
he goes to school, and then all the girls and Bill show up with these crates of bananas. And they
And like an assembly are able to sit there and just fling bananas at him.
yeah,
Like,
and he comes home and he's just covered in bananas. And there's a line that Lois the mom has where he's like, "Did you go in my room?" And she goes, "I haven't gone in your room since I found that stiff sock."
Yeah.
I was like, that's so good.
But essentially what he does,
He goes
says,
down there and
wish
I wish I would kill my brother, and he turns the handle, and unfortunately
You don't get to control.
You don't get to control it, and his mom dies.
She
has like a
an
brain aneurysm,
like an explosive aneurysm.
Right.
He goes. Is it Bill comes home
and finds her,
and she turns around and blood is like out of her ear and out of her nose, and I mean it's just
so both of these kills are in the book. Like in the book, it is the babysitter, but it's Stephen King can be very problematic in the way he writes certain characters and certain language that he uses. If you do read The Monkey, I do just want to preface that as there are descriptions and
the N-words in the book. isn't
yeah,
it?
he
A
did
lot,
that a
yeah.
lot. Like
Which is
in the
just-
early
yeah.
stuff, where
I will also say he normally put it in the mouth of the worst
He did.
character in the book.
He
Like,
did.
It is. I think, to the best of my recollection, it's always been used as a signifier of
This is
who's-
the bad guy.
of who the villain
Yeah.
is. Like
Yes.
it's no, yeah.
but it is in the book, and his descriptions of black characters can be a little problematic early on. But the mom death is also in the book as well.
Yeah.
And so this kind of messes up Bill royally.
Oh, for sure.
He's
It-
done like he
yeah.
they come home from the mom's funeral, and they meet the aunt and uncle, who is Osgood Perkins and another actress, and Hal is sitting on the steps, and he kind of says, your aunt and I didn't really want kids. We're going to do our best. And
Sarah Levy is Aunt Ida.
okay.
Just-
And when I say our
But
best,
our best isn't going to
isn't
be
gonna
very,
be very good.
yeah, it was very darkly comedic in
Yeah.
tone for sure.
yes.
But he talks to Bill and he's like, "Are you going to take off your suit for the wedding?" Like
from the funeral.
from the I'm sorry, yeah. your suit
And he
from
was
the
just
funeral?
like, either if I take it off, I'm going to have to put it back on for another funeral. If I don't take it off, at least I've got it on.
Well, he said there won't be any more funerals. 'Cause
Yeah, oh,
it's
that's
like
right,
it's a
that's
really obviously just like
He's broken.
The logic is not sound, and he's
Right.
just messed up. So he's like gonna live in this suit now.
So they take they think that the monkey has something. He's like, "Did you turn the key?" He's like, "I didn't turn the key." So they're
So they take it and
Hal
throw it
is
down
not-
a well.
Yeah, they chain it up in the hat box. They throw it down the well. Flash
25
forward
years
25
later.
years later, Theo James is now an older version of Hal, who is just a loser, but rightfully
I don't
so.
consider him a loser. Actually, I think he plays his life very safe because he's been so messed up by the events of the thing with the monkey. Like
Yeah.
he seems like
He's trying to isolate himself
Yes.
so nobody else gets hurt.
Right.
Like he's a good-looking dude. He seems socially fine talking to people, but he is trying to make his life as simple and locked away
Correct.
as possible.
Because
I thought that at first. I'm like, is he going to be a nerdy? Like when he's a kid, he seems like the nerdy, picked on, whatever. But like as an adult, he doesn't seem that way. He just is.
isolationist
choosing-
and not one of the weird ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just trying to make sure nobody else gets hurt.
He's not Nicolas Cage from
From what?
from the other Osgood Perkins movie.
Oh, long,
Long
legs.
legs.
Yeah, he's not. It's not that kind of isolated.
The boy. So we find out that he works in the supermarket. He's got a boss who is significantly a teenager, basically.
Yeah, vaping.
Yeah,
of
right.
course, like the stereotypical.
And his only lines of dialogue are like, "That sucks, man." Like that's
He goes to a vending machine and gets a $2 vape juice out of a vending. It's just so fun. This movie is so weird.
Yeah, it is very weird too.
Like
in
vape
the
juice
best
is
way.
going to be the cost of a bag of chips.
yeah,
a vending
right,
machine.
right,
It's
right.
just
Well, maybe
funny.
it is now. I don't even know.
$2. I just thought that was fun.
I have
I
no
don't know.
frame of reference for how
I mean, a
much
pack
vape-
of cigarettes in a vending machine at a bar is like $18.
Do they still
Like,
packs of cigarettes in bars in vending machines?
I don't know. I'm just saying, if you in Vegas or whatever, where where they can.
I remember pulling on those when they used to have those. You just like pull on those knobs, trying
Yeah.
to just 'cause no other vending machine looked like that.
I'm just saying, there's no way vape juice, someone that is at a vending machine trying to make a profit and it's already more expensive, would be $2.
Oh,
I
sure,
found
sure,
that
sure.
price comical, that in modern times that you would even
Right.
attempt to sell. Again, a bag of chips is $2+ in vending machines.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know what I mean? Anyway, it's just funny.
This says, just a quick Google
Yeah.
says the e-liquids are $10 to $20 a bottle, but the lower cost options are $5 to $10.
Yeah. And that's not at a vending machine.
Yeah.
with
Right,
markup.
right.
So to me, there were little things, I think the point is, that were just throughout the movie that were funny, even if they didn't draw big attention to them. Every little detail that he plants in this movie like that is just like, could solicit a laugh from me. There's just
Sure.
little goofy things in this world.
Goofy
that-
goobers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a
Love
goofy goober.
Love it.
So now we find out that he's got this son that he sees once a year, and the guy's like, "Once a year? Oh man, that guy, his mom must be a bitch." And he's like, "No, that was on me."
I choose that.
And he
It's
was like, "Oh, okay."
yeah. But he goes, they do the interaction with Elijah Wood.
Which we
and-
talked about.
And he basically says, yeah, you're not in his life. He wants a father that's involved. So Elijah Wood's going to adopt him. Like,
Which I
officially.
don't know that he can. I don't know that. I mean, Theo James would have to give up his parental rights, I think, to adopt him.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot more complicated, but again, that tells you the world we live in.
Yeah,
and
right,
this
right,
comedic movie is like, they're just, he previously said he stole his power by holding his hand. So, it's just a weird. Yeah.
We'll arm wrestle for it. And he was just like, "What?"
Yeah, I'm going to do whatever. He's like, I'm going to do the next logical thing.
Yeah,
which
I'm
is
an
I'm
arm
gonna
wrestler.
wrestle. It's written in such a funny way.
Yeah. So they go on this trip, and while they're getting, Petey,
just
who
take
is
the
the
week.
son,
Take the week to
'cause
say
you're not-
goodbye.
yeah, Petey is his son. He's doing this family tree gimmick, and Theo James Hal is not giving him any. He's lying about everything. He tells him his mom's name, but he doesn't tell him about
He
the
says, do you have
brother.
any siblings? And Theo James says no.
Right.
So they're heading to Wally World or something. You know what I mean?
Some
They're heading
like
to,
Halloween Horror Nights or something.
Yeah, at a theme park, kind
Right.
of a horror park.
While all this is going on, we should say that the third person dies. That's what it is. The third person dies. That's when they get rid of the monkey. Is they wind it up, and we find out that Osgood Perkins, while on a camping trip, gets trampled by wild horses.
Oh, yeah.
And they
You just see the sleeping bag.
yeah, and they pull it
full
back,
of-
and it's like when the coroner said when we saw the body, it looked like smashed cherries.
Yeah.
And they pulled the sleeping bag back, and it's just goop, like it's just goop, and they just pour it out of the sleeping bag.
Look like the filling of an apple pie,
Yes,
of a Hostess apple
yes,
pie.
But
exactly.
when they said he was trampled by 47 wild horses, I mean, it's so ridiculous.
Right.
The deaths, yeah.
So
I just love how they do that one where the kids are like, "We'll just wind it, nothing." boom, and they
Yes.
cut to the funeral. They smash cut to the funeral. Like
good.
that was great.
And then that's when they get rid of the monkey. And so we find out
they're at a hotel. Fast forward. Theo James Hal is at the hotel with his kid, and he walks outside. It's hot. He turns the air conditioner on, so it's like the start of the Rube Goldberg thing. You know, walks outside. There's this beautiful woman at the swimming pool. She's got her bathing suit. She's getting ready to go off the diving board. And then
he's on the phone with Bill, where Bill's like, the monkey's back. Like he's like, okay, like, you know, or Aunt Ida's dead. That's what it is. And he's like, and she died under like mysterious circumstance. That's a great one.
When they cut to her, that Rube Goldberg of
so good.
Her head's on fire.
Well, she hears the chimes or the drums.
We hear
Sorry,
the like Calliope
the
drums,
music,
whatever.
She goes down to the basement. She falls. This is where I was like, okay, she's gonna fall through the steps and something, you know, whatever. But she stands up and she's got all these hooks in her face.
It's a good head fake.
So she goes to the bathroom. She's taken the hooks out of her face, and then she smells gas.
She's using alcohol or whatever to clean the wounds.
Rubbing alcohol to clean the wounds.
And then you hear the gas is on and the stove.
So she just kind of moves the pot out of the way, and then
it lights
and sets her face on fire.
And then she runs outside and steps in.
She runs into the for sale sign into this.
But she steps in something on the porch.
Oh, there was something.
And then she slides down the hill into the for sale sign that has like a point on it and impales herself. It's
great.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great.
Again, great Friday the 13th-esque kills. They're just ridiculous.
So Bill calls Hal and says, hey, look, this is the monkey's back. Like
you gotta go check the house and make sure
it's
it's not there.
And while that's happening, we can see this window unit start to like rattle on the roof. It pops somehow. The electrical cord hits
falls
the
off
water
the roof and hits something on the ground, right?
It goes into a puddle of water, which then the water goes into the pool. And as this woman is about to dive into the pool, she legitimately explodes.
Yeah.
Hal's like, wait, and she dives and hits the water and explodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, people don't dive wearing swimsuits like that.
That is correct, because you will not be wearing it when you pop back up.
That's why I stopped.
All right. So Theo James goes to Petey. Hal goes to Petey and just says, we got to go. Yeah. And Petey's like, what the it's whatever. He's like,
and Theo James loses his cool here for the first time.
He's like, bake like eggs and get scrambled. Yeah. And I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing to yell at somebody.
But he yells that because someone said it earlier.
Yeah, I think it was.
The mom says that the dad made like eggs and scrambled.
Yes, that's right.
The mom tells him this, and now he's taken that as a phrase, which isn't a phrase.
No, not at all.
And he yells it and freaks out.
Right. So they go back to the house. This is again, a great sequence.
The real estate agent's great. This is hilarious.
And the cop, both of them are pretty.
Oh yeah, but so the real estate agent hands Theo James a card, and then she tries to hand it to the kid, and the kid's like, "I'm sorry, I'm not old enough to purchase a house." Whatever. He says this big, and also you just asked about my dad's brother, who he said didn't exist, so he's been lying to my face.
Yeah, right.
So I've just learned about that. So thank you. And she goes, "So no card." That's a great line. Like after all, it's so great. So no card then.
Yeah, Hal's is like, look, just stay in the car, and he was like, actually, I have to go number 2. And he was like, why didn't you do that back at the hotel? He's like, actually, I have a condition that says that I can't go number 2 in anywhere but a house.
He's like, and he's like, are you lying? And he's like, well, that's a big gamble.
It's a big gamble.
It's so funny.
So Hal's going through the house with the real estate agent, and we find out that there have been a lot of deaths in this town.
It's been a crazy time for the town. She's like, ever since she goes, her Aunt Ida was Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Monday was their death. And then Tuesday was so-and-so and someone else. And Wednesday there was 1 and 2 and 3 deaths. Like she is listing off just crazy amounts of deaths. And while she's doing that, they're trying to unlock a door where she's like, I didn't lock this.
Mm-hmm.
And when she finally gets unlocked, it's like an ironing board type spring of a gun.
Yeah, it's a shotgun
that falls down
and just
blows her head
blows
off.
her face off.
And Theo James is standing there covered in blood, like just
it pulls a finger out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And the kid Petey's just like, is everything
okay?
Right? He's like,
everything's fine.
But we do find out that there was a yard sale, and there was a kid at this yard sale who is Corey.
I can't believe that's Corey.
It's Corey Cunningham from Halloween Ends. And he sees the monkey. He buys.
I couldn't tell because
it was hard.
See his face.
There was it's not until he sits down at his house. I was like, oh,
he moved his hair one time in the movie, and I remember this. I go, is that someone? Are they trying to hide something? And there's one scene where he has the hair in his face. It cuts to something else and cuts back, and all of a sudden it's out of his face for the first and only time in the movie, and then it goes back down over his face.
Right.
So I was like, what are they trying to accomplish? with
Nothing. I
that?
just think he's got
Just that he's a metal head with the long
stoner metalhead guy.
Yeah, Burnout.
I
Yeah.
thought they were hiding that he was someone else.
I thought they were too. Like,
You're right.
yeah.
Like I figured that it was because it was so ridiculous. It was like, what's another character? I don't know. There's a cartoon or a comic where someone always has the hair in front of
Winter
the eyes.
Soldier.
No, I couldn't think.
Beetle
of
Bailey.
That's the one. Yes, exactly. I was like,
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, well
thank
done.
you. Old timey
Yes.
references. I
Old
knew-
timey reference is what I'm here for. It's Beetle Bailey.
So anyway, but the cop shows up and is like asking him how questions about the thing.
Right.
and-
And he was just like,
You know, Mort Walker, creator of Beetle Bailey.
yeah.
Mizzou alumni.
Oh, is that right?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Look at that.
Yeah, so we see that this kid is taking buys the monkey from the yard sale. He goes back to his house, and we get a little backstory with him.
It reminds him of his father.
Yeah, he's got his mom's a drunk. It looks like his brother's a psychopath, I guess. I thought the brother was
I
just
thought he had
there.
PTSD or something.
I
from
don't
the
know.
Army. I think he's
just-
dressed up in army fatigues.
He's
I
just
think
sitting there in his uniform.
I'm guessing he has.
And then when
some
we see him
issues.
later, and he's like, "Hey, this doesn't have any bullets." He's like, "Do you got any bullets?" He's like, "What caliber?"
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
So we basically find out that Bill, because the mom says, "Are you going to give that monkey to the weird guy that lives alone?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, that's got to be,
Yeah.
it's got to be
Yeah.
Bill."
You're putting the pieces together that
Right.
Bill is looking for the monkey. And so anyway, Theo James at this point is like, Bill calls him again, I think, on the house phone. And doesn't he kind of tell him,
Kind of
like,
gives him.
yeah, he's kind of like, I know that you killed our mom.
No.
right?
We don't
Or-
get that until the very end.
Okay, what does he say on the phone though? He does act weird though.
Basically,
after.
like it's our responsibility to find this thing.
Okay.
So we get a flashback to Bill as an adult. Theo James plays both Bill and Hal at the same time.
Well, and if we're getting the flashback, then we at least get the reveal because he's like, because the reveal is
the
that he
reveal
goes
is
and
that
gets
we
it.
know,
because he knows that.
but Hal
He
doesn't
doesn't tell
know
Hal
yet.
yet?
He tells Hal at the end at the warehouse
Okay.
that he knows.
But we see a little monologue from Bill kind of talking crazy and saying like, I know that it was Hal and that he
Right.
turned the key and I went back the next day and got it. But
the monkey was gone. All that was left was the key in the well.
oh, right. He
Yeah.
had the key and he saved it for the moment when he knew
Right.
that the monkey would reappear.
And so
to
as
him.
soon as he got the monkey back, he was just turning the key as often as he could and
Yeah.
killing as many people.
But he keeps wishing, right? He's trying. He's like,
Yeah.
eventually it will be Hal.
Right.
And so
Right.
that is why now the neighborhood is going crazy since he got
So
it back.
I do like that he repurposes his funeral suit and like
Yeah,
ties in like the flaming
flame
like
shirt and it's
the
ridiculous.
Limp Bizkit like flame
It's
shirt
like a
from
cummerbund,
'99. Yeah,
and
right.
then the suit.
There's a moment when those two characters come back together and Hal sees Bill for the first time and he does give him like an up down where he's like, "What are you wearing? Like, what is that?"
He said he wasn't going to take that suit off.
That's right.
It's ridiculous. Theo James does a really good job of playing this psychotic villain Bill. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a really funny character with how crazy.
So
he
this is kind of where the movie kind of loses me.
okay.
I was in on like the road trip thing and trying to find the
Mm-hmm.
monkey. Once we get to the Bill Hal square off, I was kind of like, this isn't for whatever
Well,
reason
that's
this
what I
isn't
mean.
working.
It's just not as fun, right? The whole movie is all these crazy deaths and
Yeah,
crazy things
yeah.
are happening, and then again, now you're to the family dynamic, and if you're not really invested in them, you're just waiting. Which eventually we do get another good kill with Bill, but like you're waiting.
you get one with Corey Cunningham. gets
True,
one.
true. That is maybe the best in the movie. I've never seen anything like the Wasp.
It
thing.
makes no sense.
It's outlandish.
Yeah, it makes zero
but it's incredible. That is one of the best kills I've ever seen in a movie. That was insane.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The way that like not only did he swallow a bunch of them, but they came out. The way
They came out. Yeah.
But anyway, so basically the kid tells Bill, he's like, "Hey, can I give you your money back and I can get that monkey because it reminds him of his dad for whatever reason." And so he's like, "No, not at all." And so he goes, takes the cop uniform out of the parents' closet, takes the gun, asks the brother for
Right.
ammo, and he kidnaps Hal and Petey.
Right.
And says, "You need to get in there and get the monkey
And
from
bring it to me. I'm
from
going to
Bill."
kill you both.
And so he's sitting.
Well,
in the-
we also kind of find out that the idea is that he doesn't want to kill Petey, right? He doesn't want to. Bill does not want to kill Petey, so he's going to have Petey turn. The person that turns the crank never dies, so he was going to have Petey just keep turning the crank until he kills his dad.
yeah.
That's
Because
that is the
not
plan.
working with Bill,
Right.
And so he figures if someone else does it, maybe they'll be less connected or something. Like
Right.
eventually, yeah. So he's like, "Yeah, you'll have to fight," because he's like, "I'm not going to."
Oh, you know, we didn't even talk about Pet Cemetery. is also a fantastic. It just clicked
Oh yeah.
about it as far as adaptations, not the remake, the original. Like the remake's fine, but the original is.
Yeah, I like the remake.
Yeah.
So he's got how
You know, until Wayne's World, Pet Sematary
Yeah.
was the highest grossing film by a female director.
Oh.
As you were.
Interesting. Who directed? Is it Catherine Bigelow? Who directed?
I don't remember.
I don't think it was Catherine Bigelow.
No, maybe not. Who directed Pet Sematary? You're gonna say it's like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So they get to the warehouse and Corey Cunningham, and you know the Bill turns the key, and it's so ridiculous because this scene
Petey
is.
turns the key.
Oh, you're right. Petey does turn the key.
So Hal says, no matter what you do not turn the key. And because of all this crazy stuff happening, he just completely disregards that.
Right.
You know. Oh, and he goes through. It's like a Rube Goldberg trap. It's a Home Alone house. You know what I mean?
much so.
And so
There's
Bill's
axes and
got
swords
it all rigged
and all
up
kinds
or
of
whatever.
stuff.
He gets past the traps and the tripwires that Chekhov's tripwire.
Yeah.
Clearly. And so he's like, Uncle Bill, and not the pancake.
Coming back, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Garcia Properties bought it, and,
And
they're coming
so
back.
he's like, hey, I need you to turn the key on this monkey. And so he does
like,
it.
okay.
And then this is seriously one of the best kills I've ever seen.
It
they
is-
point out a wasp's nest or a
I
hornet's
like
nest.
that both of them are like, well,
About a
that's
street lamp.
weird. Actually, the one line that I do like is they're talking about when earlier in the movie when they're at with the real estate agent, and the gal's like, oh, and Miss So and So got bitten by a cobra, and he's like, there's no cobras in Maine, and she goes, well, there's one.
There was the one. That's a great. It's very funny. So anyway, they're like, "What is that?" And he shines the headlights on it, and then it freaks out the kid. in
He's
the
like, I
car.
can just
Says,
back
turn it off,
up.
Turn it off.
I can just back up. He's like,
He's
no,
you're
it's
not
fine."
going to do anything. So then all of a sudden the Rube Goldbergness of the
Well, what
nest
he's doing is initially he's like scratching his head with the pistol,
with a gun.
and I was just like, oh, okay, that's
gonna
you
end
know.
well.
And then
So he shoots it down, or
He
he
shoots
a
a hole
in
through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And one wasp comes out, and then they all start barreling out, and they fly through the windshield where the bullet hole
in a
is.
perfect cylinder.
They just shoot right through the windshield, down the kid's throat, into his body, pouring in.
Yeah.
He's expanding like Veruca Salt, you know, and getting big, and then all of a sudden he's like juiced.
Yep.
But the wasps are coming out of his skin. And
Yeah,
out
and
of
like
his
his jaw-
nose
his
and
jaw
eyes,
falls
and just
off.
like melting his.
It's a good one.
It's
a good one.
wild. It's yeah.
So
Pet Sematary is directed by Mary Lambert.
that's it. Yes, absolutely. Horrific ending to that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Both
And
of
to
them.
in this book as well.
In Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like one of his most just flat out depressing books.
I think he's even said he's like, man, I was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even like that ending messes me up.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. Yeah. So Hal
Goes in there.
gets in, and there's a fight between the two, and it gets to the point where, Bill is so obsessed with getting Hal murdered is he just starts taking it and he's like twisting the arms, and the monkey's kind of fighting back on him. And just in the process of him doing that, the monkey accidentally goes into overdrive and just starts going wild.
It's playing the drum like crazy, and every time it hits the drum, someone dies, and this time it's just
going
nuts.
crazy.
And so a whole airplane.
Well, I think they have a moment where this is where Bill says to Hal, I know what you did. And he's like, look, it
Last
wasn't.
summer?
Yeah, that's coming back.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything's coming.
Everything's
yeah.
coming back.
It's ridiculous.
Everything dies also, Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bill
Except
says,
for Halloween.
God
Halloween
dang right.
never.
I don't know.
Evil never dies tonight.
It did not die that night.
No, it never will.
Unfortunately, it killed Judy Greer. Spoilers for Halloween Kills. So he says, Bill says, he's like, I know you turned the key. I know you killed Mom. And I do like that Hal's like, you can't blame me for that. It's like,
Well, no,
You
but
can.
no, but what
You
it really
can.
what it really comes down to is so Bill blames Hal for the death of the mother, and
Right.
rightfully so. He did not meaning to, and he's like, "You took my mom from me," and he goes, "I'm sorry that your mom died."
You're right.
But
That was my mom
also,
too.
She's my mom too. And then Bill goes, "Oh, I didn't look at it like that." Like, so he's been on this 25-year-long vendetta, crazy because he killed his mom without realizing. Again, that's the dark humor
Yeah,
of it
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Where he's like, "Oh, You're right.
Yeah.
She was.
And so he's going to help him up, and there was a line earlier in the movie where he's like, Bill's the kind of guy that would go to shake your hand and then go to like wipe his hair.
Oh, jeez.
And
They
they-
did it 3 times.
So I thought Hal was going to do it.
I did too.
That's where I thought
that's what we were gonna do.
Yeah. And he does it like but
I was like,
like
please don't do it a 4th time.
I like
was
that he did it 3 times because it does show where
He's just an asshole.
He's just an
Like,
asshole.
yeah,
Like,
for sure. But I was like, please don't do it again. We get it. You know what I mean? Like, if
Right.
they did it a 4th time, I was going to lose it.
So at this point, while they're all
But they kind of made good from that little
Yeah.
moment where he realizes that he didn't mean to, and he was upset by the death of the mother too, or whatever. But then the monkey was still locked and loaded.
And it's
and
well,
it's
wait,
like,
wait.
right?
This is where the plane's going down, and they kind of look outside.
This is a funny callback.
And all hell, yes,
This
it
is a funny callback. Earlier in the movie, at the the front desk or whatever of the motel, Petey brings in some pamphlets of things you could do, and apparently you can get married here, and you can do it while skydiving. So we see a plane crash and burn, and then stuff is like starts falling through the
and you
ceiling.
don't know what it is
And it's
initially.
human bodies, and it's
Right.
like one guy, and you're like, well, okay, it's one of the passengers, and the next one is a bride in a parachute. That was doing the skydive. Like,
good.
that's such a. I
It's
never
such a
thought
great
that callback
callback.
would come.
It's a great
come back. It's
callback.
amazing. So people are falling, and then
They look outside, and like all hell is breaking
yeah.
loose in this town. It's very much what was the 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh yeah.
When she looks outside and we realize that it was actually real the entire time. Spoilers for that movie.
It's a great
That movie is insanely good.
That's a great movie.
That's the guy that did Predator, the new Predator movie. The guy that directed
10
that.
Cloverfield Lane is Matt Reeves, right?
No,
that's
no, it's
Cloverfield. I'm sorry,
Cloverfield.
that's Cloverfield. My bad.
10
my bad.
Cloverfield Lane, I'm almost positive is the guy that did
Okay.
the
That
Prey.
was a great movie. Prey
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, and there's more of those coming. Did you know that?
Mhm.
They filmed like a
Oh.
secret Predator movie that's coming out
Really?
this summer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew they were making more.
Yeah.
Okay. That movie
Trachtenberg.
was-
Daniel Trachtenberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Dan
dude.
Trachtenberg. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's got some skills.
Okay.
So now the monkey, there's one more, I was going to call it clang, but it's not a clang, it's a drum.
But he's locked in, and then you hear it like you think,
It
okay, we're
spins,
gonna get out of here,
And then it goes down.
and then the
The
Chekhov's-
swords drop, and then that hits like the bowling ball, and of course they called it. Oh, the other movie that does this is Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead, you see all of the zombies that are like major zombies in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
As
And they
zombie-
tell you, he has a speech where he tells you everything that's going to happen
Yes.
in the movie. Yeah.
Yes, and that's exactly what this is. So early in the movie, we talked about
This is the bowling
Hal is
ball.
holding Lois's bowling ball over his head, and he drops
kid,
it, and
yeah.
he squishes his head, and this is
So on
exactly
this one, the bowling ball goes through or whatever into a cannon
and just shoots Bill's head clean
into
off
the wall,
into the
and
wall.
smashes it into the wall.
It is very much like The Substance when you see Demi Moore's face on the Walk of Fame. It's just the
Yeah,
bowling
it's-
ball that says Lois with like entrails of Bill's head.
Pop-Tart filling.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Yeah,
like,
it's-
yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is great. And then so our two characters go to drive off, and we see, this
When
is
they
a lot
basically
of-
come to the conclusion that you can't get rid of this thing,
Right.
so they have to be the guardians of it.
I don't know why you could throw it down a well again and keep the key.
Well, but
Just
then I
separate
guess
the
you
two.
just don't. It's going to keep coming back. I don't know. I think they figure out that they've tried these things before.
I guess that's true. They
You
say
know what
it's
I mean? They
25
just-
years, but the monkey is at the estate sale.
Mhm.
So
Right.
yeah. Okay.
Because it disappeared. Bill went back and got the key, but the monkey was gone. It had
Right.
teleported somewhere,
Right.
and then it appeared back at the house. And so you just don't know what it's going to do. And so they're
Which
like,
is great.
we just have to watch it.
We'll just
As
have to
long as
watch
you,
it.
because here's the thing: this monkey has no power unless you turn the key.
Correct.
Or apparently move its arms in crazy overdrive that cranks it in a different fashion.
Right.
Right. So like, as long as you just don't turn that key, you're good.
You're okay.
But I guess human nature, right?
gotta
Like,
fight-
for
gotta-
one reason
yeah.
or another. What is it
I
going
gotta
to do?
know.
Or I want to kill someone or whatever. And
Isn't that the box? Isn't that the story? The premise of the box with Joel Edgerton and Cameron Diaz? Where
Yeah.
it's the button.
The button.
Where, like,
I
if
think
you
I
push
think
this
the movie was
button-
called The Box.
Box?
though.
it was called the box.
And
Yeah.
Frank
Where
Langella.
it's like, just
I
don't
think.
press.
No, if you do press this, I'll
It's like
give you
if
$1 million.
press the buttons, so you'll get $1 million, but somewhere
someone
will
will
die.
die.
I mean,
Right.
and it was I think it was a Twilight Zone episode.
I think
It's
you're
a
right.
famous
Yeah.
short
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
And then the payoff at the end is they take the box from you and they're like, "Where you going? We're going to give it to somebody else." And they're like, "Who? Don't worry, it won't be anyone that you know."
Right.
It, so
It's a good. That
Yeah.
movie's not bad. That's a solid flick.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
so
they $10 or double it and give it to another person.
That's right,
It's
that's
kind
right.
of the same premise. Where it's
except
like,
you're murdering people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a premise for a movie. That's a new one.
What?
$10 or kill someone. I don't know. Murder someone or give it to double it and give it to the next
Jason
person.
Blum, if you're listening, man.
Oh, man.
I did want to touch
They
on
could-
that real quick. I thought so. This is produced by Atomic Monster, which is James Wan's production
It's a
company.
neon movie.
So I guess I always thought that they had a deal with Warner Brothers. I thought they were kind of locked in with like Atomic Monster would do or Universal maybe,
Universal's Blumhouse,
but the Wolfman and the Invisible Man are
but that's Blumhouse. Blum isn't involved in this. This is just James Wan.
right. I guess I thought
Blumhouse-
Atomic Monster was somehow tied
They
into.
Atomic Monster's partnering with Blumhouse for certain things,
right.
But this is just an Atomic Monster, so
I-
they're not
I
beholden
thought
to.
Atomic Monster was locked in, kind of like when Legendary was locked in with
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, like they were just working together.
I hate all these
I
production
know,
title
it's-
cards at the beginning of movies.
I agree with
there
you.
were like 5.
But
at
it's
the
not
beginning of
as
this one.
many as some movies have,
And
like
then-
9. Have you ever watched those movies, like especially independent ones, because
Yeah.
it's hard to get financing? And
Yeah.
there are like literally 9.
And what I really hate is they all have their vanity title
There's
cards,
Squarespace,
and then the movie starts, and then they
produced
all have a
by-
credit,
yeah.
and I'm just like, well, what the?
just did
I don't need it twice.
We just saw it.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
need to see
Would
it.
you
again.
rather have a 10-minute overture with credits going over the front?
Well, I mean, I already got 30 minutes of commercials.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, those are getting bad.
I know.
Draft
Draft House is all right.
Draft House isn't too bad, but you have their pre-show, which is actually entertaining.
Yeah,
But yeah, the AMC's and the Marcuses, man,
I remember
those credits are
I-
stretching. Those previews are.
Before the Draft House was open, I knew I could get to it. If a movie started at 6:30, I'm like, I can get there at 7.
Oh, easy.
Like
yeah.
I'm not gonna miss
Yeah,
a trailer.
AMC's 23 minutes of trailers.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's trailers.
It's
I
getting closer to 30 sometimes, though.
I haven't
Like,
seen.
It's been.
I haven't seen any get that bad.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen at AMC has been like 23 on
yeah,
those.
you could be late and it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
So our characters are driving away, and they kind of Theo James has started to open up to Petey, and they're kind of talking. And again, this reminded me kind of Red State, where the original ending of Red State, if you haven't seen it, is you're going to hear these. It's the Kevin Smith Westboro Baptist Church movie. That sounds really weird when I say it like that, but you have to see it to know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
it's great. It's probably one of
It
Kevin
is
Smith's best movies.
Absolutely, it is.
It's great.
The end of that movie is you hear these horns, and he was going to have. It was going to be the end of times. You were going to see the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse or whatever, and that's kind of what this is. Theo James or Hal and Petey are sitting at a stoplight, and you see Death on a white horse. Just
Which is a callback,
Yeah,
right?
because he keeps saying, talking about death.
yeah, I
Rise
think
of
the
Pale
mom
Horse.
talks about it,
Yeah.
and then they reference that line, and we see Death.
And I think that's a quote from something, though. That's a
I think it's Book
it's
of
a
Revelation.
Yeah,
famous quote about death on a horse and whatever.
Yeah, it's in a Johnny Cash song as well.
I think it's just from the Bible.
I think it
It's
is from
just
the
one of the
Bible.
4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes. And a cool looking like version of Death. Like I thought that looked cool, where he's on
Yeah.
like a Death rode
like
in on a pale
smoke.
horse, and
billowing out of the horse and the rider, and it's a really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
and then
It's Revelation 6:8.
There you go.
yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
So I like both of our characters are like, yeah, we could just kind of go and do our own thing, and he was
Would
like,
you like
all
to
right.
hear the whole verse?
No,
Sure.
All
Then I looked and saw a pale green horse. Its rider's name was Death, and Hades followed close behind, and they were given authority over 1/4 of the earth to kill by sword, by famine, by plague, and by the beasts of the earth. I looked, and there before me was a pale horse.
that is kind of dope. Like that is metal.
That's a cool.
You know what I mean?
quote,
Like
yeah.
that
Yeah, I
is-
don't know why the Jesus freaks hate metal so much.
that is metal AF right
Would
there.
you like to hear a quote from Nina Amir about life and horses? She says, "Life is not about trying not to fall off the horse. Life is about falling off often and then getting back in the saddle again."
Tell that to Christopher Reeve.
Oh,
Oh, that took a turn.
yike!
So yeah, we see Death kind of walk by, and our characters are like, we're just gonna go do our own thing.
Oh, he's
and
riding by.
That's
now.
true. That's true.
He rides a. We just talked about this. He rides a horse. It doesn't say Death walks next to his horse,
You're
pulling
right.
him along.
You're right. So
Gotcha.
then we've got
Comprehension.
in one of the most wildest endings of a movie, we see a school bus full of cheerleaders and football players. They're like hanging out the window.
Well, they've been cheering the deaths the whole time.
I guess
they
so.
were outside
I
the
don't
one
know.
house cheering it. Like, I guess they're like the anti-vaxxers of the
Correct. Yes. And then a semi drives by, and when the semi clears it, they're all dead.
Yeah.
Like they're all decapitated, their blood
Hang on
everywhere.
the side of the school bus cheering.
Right.
That was I forgot about them, and
It's so
those
funny.
so
That was great.
random.
Yeah.
So great.
Well, because I thought, is the car going to get T-boned?
That's what I
as
thought,
it's crossing
too.
the street.
Yeah.
But I was
Totally.
like,
Yeah.
well, but they want a sequel.
Right. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made $14 million this weekend on a $10 million
There you
budget.
go.
That's
My theater was packed.
mine was as well. Mine
Yeah.
was as well.
We had one other person in our theater, but I did the 10:45 a.m. show, which
Oh,
is always
okay,
fun.
okay.
Yeah, I did but I was 7 o'clock on Thursday, so first
So
showing on
that's
Thursday.
But horror people will show up
They
for
will.
previews the night
Yeah,
of.
I don't disagree with you,
Yeah.
but I think that horror audience is pretty niche, and I don't know that they can fill a theater opening night. So I am curious, did Longlegs? I think it's two things.
Oh yeah, Osgood Perkins.
I think
is a name for sure now.
Longlegs helped,
yeah,
and then I think adding Stephen King's name to this also
yeah, I
would
was
get
sure.
people in a
And
theater.
also, this looks more mass appeal than Longlegs.
Oh,
This
yeah.
I
isn't-
agree.
This,
Longlegs is more art housey.
this is like art house adjacent.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
got some of the vibes, but it also is still very mass appeal.
And then you get the ending, the secret ending, the post credit sequence.
Oh, was there? I
I
love
didn't
it.
stay.
Is a trailer for The Keeper, which is Osgood Perkins' new movie.
What is that about?
I'm not telling you. Go watch the
okay.
trailer.
No, I don't want to. Good.
Was it all the way at the
It
end?
was all the way at the
oh,
end.
I'm
See,
glad I didn't
yeah,
stay.
darn,
Yeah.
I didn't stay.
Which I thought was like I wasn't paying attention. Like I was just kind of mucking around my
Yeah,
phone,
yeah.
and the credits ended, and I was like, and then it came up, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I mean,
and
I
then
watched
it's-
a lot of the credits, and then I just finally left. Like,
Sure.
I don't know whether to stay or not. Remember when they always had something?
Well,
and then
Marvel-
they basically just stopped doing it. So now I'm like, I don't know if I should stay
Yeah.
anymore.
Marvel conditioned us.
Right,
to
but
stick
now everyone.
around.
But then we started staying even for Marvel stuff, and then sometimes they would just not have. And,
Right.
and you're like, well, they don't do it anymore. And then they
and
go
then
and
they
do
do
it.
it.
And you're just like,
Yeah, and they did
And
it,
of course, I
you
know
know.
I can look it up, but I just. I don't know.
I will say
I didn't think
there
this
is a
movie had a post.
there is a great. It's not even a. It's really just a. I mean, you're kind of what they did with Captain America.
Yeah.
Where like the post credit sequence is the trailer for the Avengers. I will say there's an app called After Credits,
Okay.
and if you want to know if a movie has a post credit sequence either in the middle or at the end,
Yeah.
it will tell you,
Okay.
and you can decide to stay.
See, I
or
like
not.
going to websites like Collider where I have to read a 30-page essay about the whole movie
And
and,
sit through
everything
the-
the cast
sit
has
through
ever
the
done.
ads and the
then, and then
pop-ups.
at the end they go, "Is there something?" No. Like God. just
After Credits
pump
is the
out
best.
those AI
It's a-
articles.
yeah, right,
with
right,
every
right.
information you didn't want to get you to look at all the ads, and then
Yeah, I do think this is a top tier Stephen King adaptation. I
it's
think
great.
fun.
I loved
it's,
it.
It's super.
I had a great
fun.
time.
Yeah,
had a
I
great
think I like that they're mining stuff that hasn't been touched yet.
Yeah.
It's not just the
Well,
same
this
things over
wasn't-
and over.
This was been a movie before, though, hasn't it?
No,
I don't think it has.
we just went over this.
I thought.
remember
it was.
Monkey Shines wasn't.
Oh, I thought it was.
No,
Okay.
which I think is great. Obviously, we're getting The Running Man. I think we're getting.
You should read more comics.
Should.
And we're getting some more adaptations. I would love to see The Long Walk get adapted. I don't know that we can post Hunger Games because it's very similar
Yeah.
in tone. The
What is
Rage.
The Long Walk?
It's where they're on a long
They're
walk.
on a long walk.
It's like
It's a bunch of kids on a walk.
They take kids. They take two kids from each state.
yeah.
Oh,
And
right,
they
right, right.
basically you can't fall below 4 miles per hour.
yeah.
And they
And they'll
walk.
shoot you.
And then the last one alive gets all the money in the world,
Right.
basically.
Yeah. So it's the Hunger
So
Games.
it's like speed.
Kind of.
Speed walking.
No, I was like,
and
this is nothing like
the
speed.
the Rage
Why
will
you
never.
said before 4 miles an hour, right?
Oh, that part.
That's
okay.
if you drop below 4 miles an
Yeah.
hour and you get killed. That's
Okay.
the premise of speed.
I think the Rage is very good as well. It will
You can't
never
do
get.
that.
it
Oh,
will
never.
It will never
I mean, he
get
won't
made.
even let it be published.
No,
Like
no,
the-
it's out of
yeah.
circulation. I do recommend it though.
I mean,
It's a very good book.
it's just like those until people start taking them literally as like
when it's referenced by
things
people that
to
have done
do.
things,
right?
And you're just kind of like, all right,
Yeah,
you
no,
just
you
can't-
know.
And this like back in that time, that wasn't really a thing.
yeah. It's not like Tipper Gore blaming Twisted Sister.
No, I mean
for,
it was based on a thing. The kid that shot up from a bell tower.
yeah.
So like it
I
just
mean,
wasn't
it
as.
is- but
it
it was
wasn't
Kent
as
State, right?
Well, no, Kent State was the political protest where
Okay.
the government killed people.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
yeah.
but we have to trust cops. We hate the government, but
Right.
we trust the people that are allowed to kill us. I think they think that's how we're supposed to.
That's how it
think.
works,
Yeah,
yes.
that's how it's supposed to work. But But I mean, it wasn't as frequent.
Yeah,
You can't put
yeah.
something out that you know somebody is going to cling to and use it as an idea or whatever.
Yeah,
It's just
I agree.
bad
I agree.
idea.
There's all kinds of great King out there that we didn't even talk about.
Sure, absolutely.
So go find it.
Yeah.
This is great.
So anyway, that let's go around the table and everyone can. Or no, that's it for. What would I say? I don't know. We're done. Tell people where to find you.
This is Joe. You can follow me on. Sorry, somebody just texted me something that I was not expecting. It's not.
Oh.
No, not like that.
Oh.
Not like
Oh.
that. This is Joe. You can follow me on the Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Threads, and Letterboxd at JoeyButts21.
This is Kevin. Follow me on Twitter at KevinRBrackett.
And this is Tom. You can follow me on Blue Sky and Threads at Tom O'Keefe Jr. or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. Don't forget you can find the show online at facebook.com/RealSpoilers. And don't forget to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/RealSpoilers. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, Fats ruins Corky's card trick.
Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already